Music, The Color Purple is set to open at the Joburg Theatre with an old South African cast. Based on the 1982 novel written by Alice Walker and the 1985 motion picture directed by Steven Spielberg, the story chronicles the life of a character named Celie, an oppressed black woman. Well, in the film, Celie endures rape, sexism, the loss of her children at birth, and many more. Well, the cast features renowned theatre performers and will definitely keep audiences captivated with stellar music and, of course, a touching storyline. And joining us this morning in studio is producer Bernard J. And actor Didintle Khunou, who plays the role of the lead character, Celie, in the production. A very good morning to you two. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Cynthia. Thanks for having us.
And I love your energy. So early in the morning.
Yes.
All right, now you play the lead actor. Just how emotionally taxing, if at all, was it to get into that character?
It has been quite emotionally taxing, but I must tell you that the process of getting into Celie and understanding who the character Celie is has been a journey of healing, incredible healing. There's a lot of things that I resonate with Celie in terms of just having been conditioned to silence my voice as a young black woman, or just as a woman in general. And Celie goes through the journey of just having to be at a point where she's told that she's ugly, that she's nothing, that she'll never amount to anything. And eventually she taps into her authentic voice. She realizes her capacity to be anything and do anything that she wants. And that is something that I really find admiring about Celie's journey, Celie's story, is that she comes to realize that the world is her oyster, and that no matter what the world says, the world can tell you that you can amount to nothing. Yeah. But you were made in God's image. So if God has made you in his image, it means that you have the capacity to do whatever it is you want to do if you acknowledge those gifts in yourself. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey of healing and of discovery. And I cannot wait to share my discoveries with the South African audience.
Right.
It's a very empowering story. What I love about The Color Purple,
and I presume
as well,
you strike some sort of resonance with Celie. Hey.
No, yes, because her story
what are some of the similarities between you and Celie?
Her story is a story of resilience and of understanding your capacity and the importance of exercising the ability to express your voice in a world that is, you know, honestly speaking, ridden with patriarchy, heteropatriarchal misogyny. Yeah. And so that's what I resonate with, you know, yeah.
All right. Now, Bernard, once again, well done on such a production.
Thank you.
Why did you deem it fit to come up with such a production?
I'm a producer of musicals, so I watch to see what is going on around the world and what is current, what could be popular with our audiences. I need to entertain an audience with a musical, but I also very much want to tell a story. And I think Color Purple does that quite magnificently and quite unusually for a musical. And here's a story that many people know from the original Alice Walker's book, from the movie, of course, Steven Spielberg's movie, but it's not been accessible to them recently. And by putting it into a musical format, it gives them a chance to come and enjoy it, because essentially they must have an enjoyable evening in the theatre, but also to be told a story that clearly is very relevant still in South Africa. What the African Americans were going through in the early 20th century in southern United States, in Georgia, a lot of that, very sadly, very frighteningly, is still happening in this country.
And so I do understand that producers spent about 4 years trying to negotiate for the rights and preparations for this production. Take us through that process and how you got to this point.
Yes, it's been a fascinating journey. I've been wanting to do The Color Purple in this country ever since it was first produced on Broadway in 2005. That production was done in a way where it was just too expensive to tour it. It had 34 people in the cast, a great big orchestra, and it didn't tour anywhere. And I had been thinking maybe there's a way of reducing it, of making it slightly smaller so it was viable to do here. And I'd been asking for the rights. and we've been negotiating, I think, now for about 4 years. I was fortunate enough to be able to obtain the rights to do the show before it was reproduced in London. And in fact, the production in London did exactly what I was hoping to do, reduced it brilliantly. So South Africa, myself as a producer, had got the rights to The Colour Purple before everybody else was told, no, you can't have the rights because it's going back onto Broadway. The London production went back onto Broadway. So everybody said, we're withdrawing the rights now because we've got a Broadway success. And here we were already signed.
Just to interrupt you there. Now, Didintle, this production tells a story of a different time. So how do today's audiences relate to this production?
Well, in today, we experience attacks of misogyny. We still experience a society that conforms to patriarchy. And we still experience men and women having to conform to and perform various forms of masculinity. Okay. And so what the Colour Purple musical and the novel does really is that it challenges us to surpass patriarchy, to surpass traditional ideas of gender roles. Yeah. And that's how it's very relevant. And it also shows very...
Unfortunately, we haven't got much time. Just briefly, in 10 seconds, where and how to get hold of the tickets?
It's at Joburg Theatre. The first performance is January 31st. And if you just go on to joburgtheatre.com, you'll be able to buy tickets.
All right. Thanks to you two for chatting to us this
morning.
Thank you.
All right, that was Bernard J. and Didintle Khunou talking to us about The Colour Purple. This is Morning Live. Let's go for an ad break. We'll be right back.